Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we're back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. And yo, my homie Kyle hit me up and said, hey, you don't want to miss this one. So I don't want to miss this one. We better see what's going on. So I heard some pretty interesting things are covered, and some stuff that's probably going to be talked about in the community. So let's just jump into it. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and let's get into it, y'all. I want to see what he has to say.
My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Metaverse Insider. Let's get into it today with Mr. Kyle Wilson. Coming in, we're going to break it down together here. Kyle, this is going to be a good one. How are you?
Yeah, Paul, happy to be on today and excited to get into this.
Let's start off with the Infinity Gauntlet. Stay on VeVe for a moment. And first of all, just for everybody, I've kind of, and I'll claim this publicly, I've started to recoil back away from VeVe, in the words of acquiring new collectibles there. I'm looking at other platforms.
My man's come out the gate, VeVe doodoo. Like, nah, that's crazy. So, I mean, yeah, my man's just literally opened up by saying, just the mention of VeVe, he had to make it clear, yo, like, low-key, they ass. Like, he just came out the gate with it, like, straight, okay. But ironically, it's people that's respected, people that's influencers in the know, who communicate with one another, who's seeing, like, everyone is drawing the same conclusions. Everyone might not be selling, but to be fair, everyone is in different positions. Like, but everyone is pretty much, let's slow down on purchasing anything from VeVe. And this should raise some red flags for people. People should start realizing that, like, these people out here running the quid narrative and trying to, you know, push everybody who addresses a concern or raises a concern, trying to claim certain things about them. Y'all are going to start looking crazy the more that this keeps happening. But
from VeVe, in the words of acquiring new collectibles there, I'm looking at other platforms. So I'm looking at maybe disposing of my VeVe collectibles. But explain Infinity Gauntlet to me. How's
disposing his VeVe? So it looks like he finna sell. That's crazy.
Does it all work? What's all the hoo-ha about?
Yeah, the Infinity Gauntlet is an interesting, dynamic here on the app. I mean, could be some potential there in terms of the crafting. So it looks like they have dropped a lot of the different items in the Infinity Gauntlet series, or the Infinity War series here, like the Scepter, Tesseract, and so on. And of course, when the crafting comes in, you'll have to sacrifice these NFTs and burn them in order to acquire other stones, like, for example, the Soul Stone, where you'll actually have to burn a select Marvel NFT. And they have a kind of a list currently of some of the different NFTs you can actually burn for the Soul Stone. But you'll need to, essentially, they'll be dropping the Infinity Gauntlet, and you'll have to craft each stone and put it into the Infinity Gauntlet as well in order to complete the Infinity Gauntlet. So this is all very interesting, something new in terms of what VeVe's doing. We've kind of seen a little sneak peek in terms of the platinum moment kind of drop scenario and their posters around the potions, for example. But this is an actual crafting experience. So this one's kind of an interesting dynamic, how it could play out. If you're able to kind of front run some of these things or get into some of these positions kind of early. And now, of course, some of these prices have already ran, and people with the expectation of, getting the Thanos and the Thanos secret rare as well, with the Eye of Agamotto secret rare.
So do you feel like this is worth it right now with what the way it's playing out, and whether or not, long-term VeVe's, I guess, tangibility in being a long-term platform out there, is it worth collecting Thanos right now?
Yeah, I think, if you are.
Oh no! Hey, why my man? He had to make sure he say this in the right way. He know the VeVe code gonna be on hill. So, yo, that's crazy. Like, obviously, there's gonna be some potential here, but realistically, no one knows what type of potential this is gonna be, because, yeah, this is a cool crafting situation, cool, I guess, mini experience. But I mean, this seems like Quid type of stuff. VeVe promised Ready Player One. This is not that. So it's like, yeah. It seems like VeVe's they're delivering. Like, this is something new delivered, but you know, it's not what
Thanos right now.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you are not wanting to go through all the crafting, I think, you know, the best thing to do is just maybe go into the secondary market and pick him up, especially we're kind of in crypto winter. You may have to pay a little bit of a premium for him, but I do think, you know, even though that VeVe, you know, been slow to roll out a bunch of features and they haven't been performing as well in terms of the tech side, I think there could be a long-term potential for Thanos, just because it is Thanos and complete with an Infinity Gauntlet. So I do see a little bit of opportunity there if the market presents it, especially in the secondary. But personally, I don't know if I'll be crafting these. We'll see. But for example,
my man's had to nicely say, yeah, it's a good hold. It's a good opportunity. Personally, I don't give a shit about doing it, but it could be good. Like, you gotta politely say, maybe it does well, but I look at context clues. I look at the fact that he seems to be pretty close to Paul. Paul is thinking about selling his collection. So it's like, why is everyone all on the same page right now? Why is everyone who knows the project, who's done a huge amount of research, who's been here following the project, all feeling the same vibe right now? It's like, I feel like it's just hard for people to let go. People are so scared right now. And the thing that bothers me is people would not have to let go if people would just come together and push for answers. Like, that's all that's needed. Come together and push for answers. Stop pushing everyone asking for answers. Push for answers. It's like, it's so easy to solve these problems. We wouldn't have people leaving. We wouldn't have OGs not knowing what. Jeremy Padawar is out here hoping that the OMI token does what it was promised to do. It's like, so many OGs just want answers. That's it. The second we get answers, that is the news that spreads and circulates around the community. VeVe doesn't get this, or maybe the answers that they have isn't the answers that they want spreading around the community, because that's what scares me. The fact that they're ducking and avoiding these questions so hard, maybe the answers isn't something that we want to hear. And maybe it's the answers to these questions would be something that destroys VeVe. That is a concern of mine.
Agamotto has ran up in price quite a bit, especially the secret rare, because technically you get two Thanoses with that secret rare Eye of Agamotto, according to their documents there. So they did give out dates, thankfully here. The Soul Stone crafting begins like May 6th, for example, and the Infinity Gauntlet drops May 13th. So they did give out solid dates, and you have till... Yeah, and you'll have June 10th to craft the stones into the gauntlet and receive the Thanos airdrops, depending on which, you know, Eye of Agamotto you have currently. So,
all right, Kyle. So let's get a quick update on VeVeverse.
Yeah, so the VeVeverse again. It appears from their community update, kind of the same news we've been seeing. I mean, they did give us a little bit of a sneak peek, which looks similar to the Decon, you know, demo that they originally showcased. So it doesn't look like anything really new. I think we saw the Aston Martin in there, so maybe they are kind of waiting for more IP. And of course, the DeLorean is there as well. But we could be in a situation where they're maybe waiting on more IP to give the green light to actually be in the VeVeverse. But they have showcased DCs in there and some brands, but they've been very, very slow to roll that out, and even the beta testers as well. So kind of time will tell. It's another kind of soon scenario situation here as well. So we're still kind of waiting for that kind of beta access or who's got access to it. Currently, there's a very, very finite amount of people in there from what I've been told. So, but, you know, we have kind of yet to see too much leaks and information from the VeVeverse itself.
Yeah. Do you think this was a problem?
Great job being professional, Kyle. Definitely respect you. Definitely look up to what you've been able to accomplish because you carry yourself the way you do. Much respect, bro. Much respect. Cause I can't do it. Like, VeVe ass right now, bro. Like, it's doodle, and they need to get it together. Just saying, respectfully.
Problem or a mistake from VeVe's standpoint of not being able to roll this out into influencers and, you know, just in general.
Rolling it out into influencers? Did he just say some common sense in marketing? He must be getting paid by Quid if he says so. Oh, he must be salty that he didn't get the VeVeverse. That's why he's selling. Yo, it's crazy. Anybody who speak common sense, this like when I speak common sense, people say all type of crazy shit about me. What about him? Like he can't say something that makes sense either. Like that's crazy.
From the VeVeverse itself.
Yeah. Do you think this was a problem or a mistake from VeVe's standpoint of not being able to roll this out into influencers and, just in general, being able to get this more aware to the NFT and the collectibles community?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that may be going on behind the scenes. I think it's probably a few different things, maybe some technical issues. They want more IP in the VeVeverse, and maybe they want to have it a little bit more curated, and they don't have the scenes and props set up to where they want it to. And maybe they just don't want that, creators to have that access until they have everything figured out. So I think maybe there's a couple of issues and things that they're working on in the background. So kind of time.
We was promised this metaverse in 2021, by the way. I just want to point that out. 2021, we was promised this, and 2023, they still can't even get IP in it.
We'll tell. Hopefully, we'll get more information. I don't think we will in terms of what's kind of the holdup of the actual beta access. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm kind of seeing, at least from the community standpoint.
I want to go into kind of the scorecard model. So first we're going to present how we're going to rank these and how the score works so everybody understands. Again, this is NFT collectibles, the platforms. So we're going to look at several attributes here. IP quality, so that's brand quality and quantity.
Okay.
Prices, that'll include mint amounts, royalties, fees, etc.
Gang.
I'm going to read all these because in case some of you guys are listening in on the podcast. Interoperability, self-custody. This will include display options, Web3 education, new feature rollout, frequency and quality, gamification fun. This will be everything from opening, pack opening animations, rank rewards, etc. Accessibility, onboarding, simplicity, multi-device support. That'll be a big one. NFT drop frequency, including the marketing hype around those. The creator economy, this will include indie artists, creator incentives, kind of the fun around that. And then last is the community sentiment. So platform and leadership, trust and love. So 1 is going to be the worst score, poor, and then 10 will be perfect. So we're going to get right into it, and let's go into the VeVe NFT Platform Scorecard, and let's take a look at, and this of course was done by Kyle, our research team, and we've had a chance to kind of take a look at these and give some scores. So IP quality, I don't think anybody would argue that, pretty high at 10 right there.
They're the
Obviously
king.
the weak area is Kyle.
Alfred Kahn and David Yu is the king. VeVe is literally, like, let's see. IP quality, accessibility, because they went mobile. Great decision at the start. One of VeVe's better decision. And then NFT drop frequency, which really comes down to them being able to drop because they have IP, which means that everything VeVe excels in is strictly IP, which means that David Yu and Alfred Kahn. That's it. That's all VeVe brings to the table. But I'm gonna chill.
Kind of rundown. Do you think this is your thoughts on this? Because I know you were part of this, but not necessarily all inclusive in bringing the research together. Do you agree with this ranking?
Yeah. Obviously, with the IP and the quality, it's hard to argue. Like you said, prices kind of have been a little suspect. Even some of the OGs, I'm in a lot of different chats and get a lot of the different sentiment from all around the community. And prices kind of been just a little wonky there. Especially they've had a little bit of quality issues from time to time on some of the collectibles. So it would be, nice to see those prices kind of come down as we'll get through some of these platforms that have more of that, more, lower price points for consumers out there, especially in these type of market conditions. And of course, we have other factors like interoperability, self-custody. VeVe obviously slow to roll those out, giving us, timelines, literal dates. It'll be coming out in 2 weeks, and it's been like a year.
Yeah.
Yo, I like it. I like the energy. Let them know. Let them know they promised us this a year ago. Yo.
Literal dates. It'll be coming out in 2 weeks, and it's been like a year.
Yeah.
So of course, low ranking there, and
the longest 2 weeks we have ever seen.
Kind of the list goes on as we go through this. These different, different gradings here.
Pros and cons. You look at Disney. Obviously, one of the key attributes of VeVe. Desktop mobile, obviously, and then VeVeVerse, if it gets rolled out, that would be still a pro. As far as cons, what outside of the one that I complain about often is the leadership direction, especially when you look at the roadmap and how they've rolled this out. Any other areas that you feel like are kind of the con areas for VeVe?
Yeah. There's obviously a couple of them. I think community sentiment and really keeping the community involved, engaged is very important. Now I know there's like super diehards out there, but
Marketing, influencers, all the stuff that built VeVe, yet the community's so trash right now, the biggest influencer who had something to do with VeVe rising like it did, everyone's turned against him. What a shocker. The community sentiment is down. Like, come on, this is what I mean. Like, VeVe is being mismanaged. I heard a good quote. Anything you mismanage, you lose. You mismanage your relationship. You mismanage your finances. Anything that gets mismanaged, you lose. VeVe can keep being mismanaged, but it only ends one way. And people can sit here and be moon boys, moon girls. Let's see how it ends. And it doesn't have to end that way. Just don't mismanage things. You have a voice. Use it.
Again, we're talking about a wider space and you're seeing competitors and different platforms move in. So I think that is kind of a concern, especially these other platforms launching really well. You know, you see even their collectibles at a higher quality level as well. So I think that's kind of one of the other cons I kind of see as well. Obviously, the new features and rollout situation, they've kind of backtracked on some of these features and rollouts and even, you know, scrapped old OUP to kind of merge it with the MCP, which is fair and fine. But we don't have too many details on what that's going to look like or how that's going to affect the Master Collectors program in itself. So it's kind of like the game has shifted completely and you kind of have to relearn and rethink how you're going to collect on the app itself. So it can leave a little the community guessing what to do on the app. So that's definitely one of the cons. And again, this is a current.
Exactly. We don't know how to collect. We don't know how to logically invest in VeVe and the future and where they're trying to go. Are they still trying to be Ready Player One? Are they just content with being a collector's app? If this is a collector's app, that's fine. But you're not going to be collecting for a huge metaverse following if your goal isn't to be Ready Player One. The metaverse is just going to be a nice little bonus for collectors, but that's not how they presented it. They presented VeVe as a gift shop. Is VeVe now Disney World? Is VeVe now Disney World and the VeVeVerse just going to be where you put the collectibles and have a little bit of fun in them? A few mini games here or there, boom. Nothing like Ready Player One. Is that these are important questions for anyone to have any type of valid or strategy that makes sense of how to even collect and maneuver when it comes down to this app. But it's like people can't see this. People can't realize the obvious.
Snapshot of the current, kind of sentiment and reality of the VeVe platform.
Interesting. All right. So, I mean, I think, overall with VeVe, I'd also say, or throw into that, on the con side, quality control and slow development, as an aspect. And I think that kind of goes with the platform itself, with what we've talked about before. Let's take a look at Candy. Candy's scorecard, IP quality up there around 6. Nothing super high performing because you've got interoperability, new feature rollout, gamification, all ranking in our awareness pretty low. Creator economy and even community sentiment, not necessarily. This one just seems like a platform that's just not going anywhere. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it feels a little stagnant there. IP, they could do more with that. I think there's not enough interest really in the macro for a platform like Candy yet. I think they could do well long term if they, iterate a little bit more and really kind of market their platform a little bit more. I
didn't even know that this existed, but okay, I don't care about Candy. Let's see McFarlane Toys. Let's see the rating.
Even though it scores really low.
McFarlane's interesting.
I think the key there is going to be the IP. If they can really extend on that, that'll be good. I mean, because they're big IP points in terms of Netflix, MLB, etc. Could go in there. Let's jump over to McFarlane. I look at them and I feel like this is one that could really get serious quickly. A lot happening. Obviously, a legacy brand here, kind of coming into the space. They've got the virtual space already playing out, and they've also put a lot in terms of roadmap going forward. So their most valuable attribute right now, ranking number 7, is interoperability and self-custody, which I think those are key things in the NFT collectible space. To me, that feels like just table stakes these days. Why aren't we seeing more platforms doing this?
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, it could be leadership here from McFarlane. Todd, he's in, if you look at his actual physical toy line, where he's meeting consumers where they're at, like their brand is in Walmart. If you go to the Target, Walmart, you'll see his toys in almost every Walmart and store in America. So from a perspective like that, I think he might have a different outlook on how he wants to drop the NFTs on his platform, which is pretty exciting because, again, meeting the consumer where they're at, allowing them to do what they want with their collectibles. I think that's from a leadership standpoint, where they really do very well at this current moment. Right out of the gates, allowing that interoperability, showcasing your NFTs on different platforms and inside your own wallet. So I think that's very important to a lot of people.
Yeah, and they've kicked off, community sentiment pretty high, obviously, because I think the legacy brand itself brings it into it, just the quality of the IP. That automatically, I think you get a little bit of points scored just because of that alone. Do you think they can accelerate that, though, in the coming, months and years for what their platform could be in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Todd McFarlane, very well known in the collectible space. He's very famous, for doing artwork. The Todd Batman, for example, which is a kind of this, and he's done a Spawn homage around that as well. So Todd McFarlane has a very, high reputation in the collectible community. And, obviously with VeVe, the Todd Batman, but he's created his own platform. So I think there's a lot of credibility here in terms of, what McFarlane has done and the IP he has actually in terms of his physical toys, has partnershipped with before. So if you look at his website, you can see all the different brands he currently has and that he could bring to the platform on McFarlane Toys. You look at the quality level and the quality bar that they've really set on his platform, and it is very, very high quality. So definitely setting kind of a standard in the space. And I think that's important too.
Yeah, well, with only Spawn right now, but again, the capability of really expanding that IP. All right, so let's jump over to DC NFT, and this is Palm Studio. Take a look at them. Again, IP quality, pretty high ranking, prices decently, also community sentiment, also ranking fairly high overall. Again, interoperability, self-custody, that's the problem that a lot of these platforms really face. New feature rollouts, and then gamification. To me, that's the one thing, if you're going to say you got to have it, at least for the future, you've got to have gamification. Again, why do you think we're not seeing more focus like that from a lot of these platforms?
Yeah, I think as time goes on, we'll see some of these platforms build into that aspect, but it is interesting that they don't really start off with that, when I think that's one of the key aspects of making it feel a little bit more realistic.
Everybody starts off trying to compete with VeVe, not realizing that VeVe had a great plan, a great vision, a great idea, but they didn't implement it correctly. Like the importance of the metaverse, the importance of gamification, the importance of being able to have retention, that's what's key. And VeVe doesn't even know this. VeVe doesn't even understand this. This is why they don't focus on retention. Like, there's ways to retain what's currently going on. There's things to do. There's ways to keep people interested, keep people bullish, but VeVe just sucks when it comes down to community. Like, the community is just so used to being excited, being blessed with being able to be around these guys or talk to them. Like, they get, like, it's just certain people that stop being enough for the majority. True collectors, okay, cool. It's great to talk to these guys, but I don't care for a conversation. Do something fun. Like, it's not what they promised it would be. It's just not. VeVe isn't what they promised it would be. And a lot of these other companies are coming out trying to compete with VeVe and outdo what VeVe's doing. Like, that's a stupid approach in the first place. If you come out with some IP and you can actually do something with it, that's all it takes to kill VeVe. Come out with big IP and allow it to be used and do something with it. That's it. That's all it really takes to kill VeVe. Because VeVe can have all the greatest IP in the world. If you just got to sit there and look at it, what's really more valuable? The IP that's attracting all the people because you can do something with it, or the IP that's just sitting there looking pretty and this is the first one there? VeVe is really going to put itself in a position, if any competitor pops up, VeVe will put itself in a position where it's only a collector's app. It's really only a collector's app. It'll never have the opportunity to be Ready Player One. But hey,
gamifying the experience and making it fun for collectors. There's other platforms like HRO that do this very, very well. Now, Palm is very interesting, you know, obviously with the IP, the quality, it's there. They also have the connections on the back end, you know, with WB, for example, and they could do a lot more here. And of course, you know, this is on the Palm blockchain as well, and them actually having more control in that area too. So prices have been very great on the platform, you know, scoring a 7 here. Community sentiment's great. They have, you know, the Backcal community really doing spaces literally daily. So I think that's a healthy community there, and they could definitely build off of this success that they've had with the community, and really, like you said, add in gamification and that fun aspect to it long run for sure.
Yeah, interoperability, gamification, but also the Palm network, just not a great experience overall. So I think that's the challenges that they're going to be facing. Not only in the short term, but in the maybe even in the long term. All right, next up is Virtua. And Virtua is a little different animal here. Their IP quality ranking 5. We've got interoperability and self-custody, high ranking at 7. New features roll out. That I thought was pretty decent. And then also accessibility was another factor for them. Very high scoring at 7. Gamification, 2. You know, again, 1 to 10, guys, 1 to 10, 1 being least poor performance, 10 being best. A community sentiment. Overall, desktop, mobile. They've got Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this. I don't really care. It's nice to see Virtua, you know, doing his thing, but don't care. See what they got HRO at.
One that was a little bit more disappointing. That's the big one. You look.
Believe them a little bit clunky, but again, Virtua, they've had showrooms. You know, they have I believe they have the mobile app as well. So making it a little bit easier and fun for collectors. They've had the showroom out for a very long time, and their assets tend to be on the higher quality end of the spectrum.
You know, for me, I think if you look at just their community sentiment, you know, when you look at Virtua overall, let's go back to that. Yeah, you see that as a 3. To me, that's the biggest opportunity for them. Being related to the Cardano blockchain, you would think that there'd be a lot of affinity from the Cardanians that would really kind of pick that up in terms of sentiment itself.
They don't market very well. Most of these companies struggle when it comes down to marketing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to market. Like I said, VeVe got lucky and the right people came into play. Experts in this field came into play and helped do it for VeVe. But a lot of these companies don't know what they're doing in terms of marketing and even how to market something like this. And yeah, it's tough. Well, not really. Not for some of us. But hey, man, you always bragging about yourself. It took 10 years, buddy. I'm going to talk my shit.
So that was the one that was a little bit more disappointing. Let's jump over to HRO. Again, HRR coming in real high on IP quality prices and also accessibility. Not bad on the drop frequency, you know, coming in very high score there at 6. Again, creator economy a little bit weak, and overall not bad when you look at this. DC trading cards, immutable X and interoperability, and then obviously the whole phygital thing, which is the physical digital aspect, which I think is one of the areas that, to me, that is the evolution.
Okay, let's skip through some of these. I just want to see the ratings. Okay, we got HRO. Accessibility, all this. Okay, HRO is cool. Okay, we just saw HRO actually. That was Wax. What they do for Wax. IP quality, Wax must be doing some nice stuff. I didn't know they had IP like that. I don't look at Wax. NFT drop frequency, nice. Community sentiment, people care about Wax, huh? Okay, recur, doodle. But okay, recur. Quid, hold up. Hold on, let me find out they know what they're talking about when it comes to Quib.
For sure. Leaping over to one of the stars is Quid. And I know we get, you know,
They gave the IP quality of 2. Y'all gonna stop playing with my team like that, and stop playing with Quid. They gave their ass a 2. They IP, hey Quid, y'all IP doodle. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been telling. But what's crazy is what I've been telling y'all about Quid is that they have been killing it in every place outside of IP, and they have 100% secured IP. They have secured it already. This is what people not understanding, bro. This is what people not getting. But keep sleeping. Keep being biased, and they gonna wake a lot of people up. A lot of people gonna be switching their tone, because you have to be able to look at stuff and be unbiased when you look at it. Not just sit here and, oh, VeVe is king. Like, they one IP away from clapping that ass. But anyway, I digress.
Blamed for being Quid shills. Quid shill. We don't shill anything for Quid. So just to be clear, but if you look at their platform in general, I mean, overall, they hit on a lot of markers that are important, at least to, I think, most NFT collectibles, you know, collectors. Prices very high in terms of value there. New feature rollout, to me, this is another big factor that's going to play into this. Gamification, one of the highest scores out there at a 5. Still a lot of work to do, but accessibility, NFT drop frequency pretty high, and even community sentiment. So they're hitting on markers across the board. Their IP quality is their weak spot. Is there, and if you think about it, you've got Animoca brands tied into this. What do you think the potential is here for them grabbing some really good IP in the coming, say, 12 months?
I'll say they already have good IP now. They just have not released it yet. So this month is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty high because, again, we're talking about Quid. They've been around for a very, very long time, dropping, you know, digital collectibles before they were actually NFTs, before NFTs really got popular. So they've been around for a very long time and have kind of a core community.
And this video ain't even sponsored. Why am I talking good about Quid? Quid doodle.
Already built. Prices is what I really love about this platform. And of course, again, meeting the consumer where they're at. And they've already had like that collector mindset already. And in terms of their IP, they can definitely do a lot of damage here. If they pick just even one major IP, kind of like what we've seen recently with Cryptoys, is that could do a lot of service and a lot of damage in terms of bumping that bar up and really giving them a better position in the space. But yeah, prices, I think a lot of platforms have struggled with that, but Quid has been you know, obviously stellar there. And looking at their interoperability, self-custody, where they have built that feature right into their platform, and even different experiences like the sandbox. They have actually improved quite a bit since the inception. So very, very impressed with what they're doing over there.
Yeah, the only scenario is, you know, for their mentables, non-mentables still kind of dominate the app. So that in itself kind of goes away from, you know, at least what we're trying to do is score it. Flowverse is another one that we're tracking. And again,
doodle. Actually, this don't look too doodle. I mean, it looks interesting. It's good to see people tracking all the, you know, all the stuff here.
Being behind Flow and how they're the OGs of the NFT space.
Okay, what else we got? Rec dot swoosh, whatever all that is.
Frequencies could be improved, but feature rollouts and then interoperability and self-custody, this comes in as really the number one we're trying to reach to. IP quality off the charts at 9. Obviously, their community sentiment over literally at full tilt. Creator community, excellent. You've got drop frequencies could be improved, but feature rollouts and then interoperability and self-custody, this comes in as really the number one platform out there when it comes to digital collectibles. I can't think of anything else that I would be investing into right now in this space. Maybe some stuff on Quid, but right now, for the most part, and maybe on Flow even, but for the most part, I would still say that Artifact has got pretty much the market. It's theirs to lose. What are they doing wrong here? Anything?
Yeah, I think
they putting me on. They putting me on to some stuff, yo. I like this. I like it. Let's hear their closing thoughts.
All right, Kyle, it's good to catch up. Hopefully you guys are out there. You'll share some of these. We'll probably tweet a few of these scorecards I'm sure we'll run this out on social and try to get this out there. But share this video, because this is a great way for people who are just maybe entering the space of understanding the NFT collectibles platforms that are available and all of their pros and cons that we've found in working with many of these projects, but also with our own research. So make sure and share that. And if you're not in the Diamond Circle, get in there as well. But anyway, Kyle, great to have you on today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be on today, and we'll see you next time.
All right. All right. As I said, get into the Diamond Circle. It's easy and it's.
All right, y'all. So there we have it. Pretty interesting video. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing what was said about VeVe for sure. And I enjoyed hearing about some of these other projects and opportunities. It is good to see that what else is going on out there. See that VeVe is not the only place with IP. See the fact that there's some other threats rising up. And it's also good to see somebody being unbiased and actually taking a look at Quid. Because the fact of the matter is people want to sit here and talk crazy because I was talking bad about Quid at one point in time because I followed the facts. The fact was they didn't have an NFT at all and they were talking trash about VeVe. Then I also followed the facts once again and they had NFTs and was doing a whole lot of amazing things. It's like, I speak facts only. And it's good to see someone else doing the same. So yeah, that being said, y'all, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, fam.